Cheers, everybody, and welcome back. In this series, we're going to be exploring the Paris 2024 Summer Olympic Games, and specifically, some of my favorite places to eat, drink, and have fun. When you hear the word Paris, what immediately comes to mind? Is it the skyline? Maybe it's the iconic Eiffel Tower piercing a beautiful sunset, or the Louvre guarding its treasures, or the Arc de Triomphe defiantly interrupting 12 roads of heavy traffic simultaneously, or maybe the Gothic grandeur of Notre Dame. For others, it might be the image of someone lazily savoring a coffee, a croissant, or a cigarette at a cafe, the quintessential Parisian tableau. But let's also be real here. Paris isn't just a postcard. For some, the city conjures a different set of emotions, like the exasperation of stepping in fresh dog poop, seemingly left behind expressly for that purpose, or the frustration of having your metro ticket or Navigo card conveniently erased by your cell phone's magnetism. Or maybe you've just parked here before. In that way, Parisians aren't so different than New Yorkers. They just have a better wardrobe. To me, Paris is one of the most beautiful cities on the planet. An absolute stunner of a choice to host the 2024 Summer Olympic Games. Yet, people had serious doubts they'd pull it off, and not least among them were the Parisians themselves, and their skepticism was not unfounded. Even on the first day of the Games, sabotage groups threw a wrench in the works, disrupting major train lines heading north, east, and southwest towards Lille, Strasbourg, and Bordeaux. But in the end, Paris, in all its chaotic glory, managed to pull it off, proving once again that this city, like its people, is nothing if not resilient. So as to eating, these are a few of my favorite great things to eat in Paris. Paris is one of the best places in the world to eat, which comes as no surprise. The French deserve their elite culinary reputation. But when I'm in Paris, I normally don't focus on eating French or continental food. Paris is a seriously cosmopolitan city, and as a result, you're going to find me eating Asian, African, or cuisine from really any other country. So here's some yummy non-French fare. These are a selection of non-French restaurants that I really do highly recommend. First is Higuma. Higuma is my go-to every time I land in Paris, and I'll tell you why. One word: gyoza. Seriously, everything on the menu is very solid, but those gyoza, they're the kind of addictive that keeps you coming back, trip after trip. Nestled on Rue Sainte-Anne, this spot is a cornerstone of the area's vibrant Japanese and Korean food scene, where some of the city's best hidden gems are found. No reservations here, just the usual long lines of people who know what's good. But during the Games, this was a rare treat. No lines, as if the locals had skipped town and the tourists were totally oblivious as to the greatness of Higuma and the culinary treasure trove that is Rue Sainte-Anne. Next is Phô Tai. Nestled in the 13th arrondissement, which is right in the heart of Paris's bustling Quartier Asiatique, or Asian Quarter, Phô Tai is the kind of unassuming spot that food lovers dream about. It's a humble Vietnamese gem that consistently earns its place on Michelin's list of great places to eat every single year, and for good reason. The menu is a true love letter to Vietnamese cuisine, with dishes like bo bun, pho, and banh quoc that are nothing short of spectacular. The flavors are authentic, the portions are generous, and the atmosphere is refreshingly unpretentious. Phô Tai is proof that sometimes the most memorable dining experiences aren't found in glittering brasseries, but in a cozy, down-to-earth restaurant where every bite feels like a culinary revelation. I'm not a big gambler, but I'll tell you, this might be the most delicious and least expensive meal you may ever have in Paris. Next is Le 404, or Le 404. Step into Restaurant 404 and you're instantly transported to a different world, one where the vibrant flavors of Morocco meet the bohemian heart of the Marais. This isn't just a meal, it's a sensory journey, from the moment you walk through the door and are enveloped by the dark, cozy decor that feels like a chic riad in the heart of the Medina. The food is exceptional, with tagines and couscous as you might expect. The merguez is a personal favorite, spicy, savory, and bursting with flavor. The wine list is short but on point, featuring both Moroccan and Algerian gems that perfectly complement the rich aromatic dishes. Restaurant 404 isn't just a place to eat. It's an experience that lingers long after the last bite, a vibrant escape to North Africa right in the heart of Paris. If you're craving a laid-back West African vibe, look no further than Le Comptoir Général. This spot is effortlessly cool, perfect for cocktails, dancing, and catching up with friends. But it's got more than just a nightlife pulse. It's also home to a killer fish restaurant and a weekend brunch that's worth getting up for. Rum cocktails are the way to go here, trust me, but the real magic of this place lies in its maze of artsy halls, quirky rooms, lush courtyards, and hidden passageways. It's like wandering through a living, breathing art installation. In my humble opinion, Le Comptoir Général is one of the coolest hangouts in the city. Part bar, part cultural hub, and all-around chill vibe. And finally in this category, there's Aki Boulangerie. Aki Boulangerie is the kind of spot that makes you question everything you thought you knew about French bakeries. Nestled in the heart of Rue Sainte-Anne, where the scent of soy sauce mingles with the aroma of freshly baked bread, Aki is where French tradition meets Japanese precision in the most delicious way possible. This is not your typical Parisian boulangerie. It's a fusion that's both unexpected and utterly brilliant. Walking in, you're greeted by a dazzling array of pastries that look almost too perfect to eat, each one a testament to the meticulous craftsmanship that defines Japanese cuisine. In truth, biting into a matcha croissant, cookie, or millefeuille is like having a religious experience. The layers of buttery, flaky pastry give way to flavors that are at once familiar and entirely new. A symphony of textures and tastes that leaves you wondering why this hasn't been the norm all along. Of course, you came all this way to Paris, you're going to want to try some traditional French cuisine. So here's a list of some of my favorite places to eat that are traditionally French. First up is a total classic, it's Le Deux Magots. This cafe restaurant is more than just a dining spot. It's a legendary institution in Saint-Germain-des-Prés, where the ghosts of intellectual heavyweights like Jean-Paul Sartre, Hemingway, Picasso, Joyce, and Brecht still seem to linger over every table. Sure, it's a magnet for tourists who flock there and taste that history, so consider yourself warned. But let's be honest, who wouldn't want to dine where these giants once sipped their coffee and swapped ideas? The food? It's classic brasserie fare that delivers on all fronts. The steak, foie gras, and snails are French staples done right, no frills needed. Yes, you're paying a little bit extra for the ambiance and the weight of the history that hangs in the air, but when you're sitting where legends once did, it's hard to put a price on that. Next is one of my absolute favorites to eat for any foodie, Le Ventre Comptoir. It's not fine dining, it's a stand-up counter, but the quality of the food at Le Ventre Comptoir is nearly impossible to beat. It was born in 2010 as a place to grab small appetizers and a drink as you waited for your table next door at the sit-down restaurant at its sibling, Le Comptoir du Relais. At Le Ventre de la Terre, you'll indulge in duck foie gras skewers, oxtail croquettes with red wine and horseradish, and crisp black pudding spring rolls, in addition to charcuterie and cheeses. Come on, it's heaven. Glasses of wine start at €3.30, bottles start at €20, and their signature trademark is a 10-pound mound of communal butter to slather on fresh, warm bread. You have no idea, I am so happy that somehow this survived COVID. Le Ventre Comptoir is already known to almost every Parisian foodie, but now it has a sibling next door focused on small seafood plates. It's called Le Ventre Comptoir de la Mer. Bloody Mary oysters, Cherbourg salmon croquettes with tartar sauce, and lime cod fritters. Wash it down with a crisp glass of muscadet. Yes, please. We'll close out the French food with two patisseries because, arguably, the French make some of the best pastries in the world. The first is Stohrer. Stohrer was established in 1730 And it isn't just the oldest patisserie in Paris. It's a living testament to the art of French pastry, with a history as rich as its desserts. Founded by Nicolas Stohrer, a master baker who once crafted confections for the King of Poland and the Grand Duke of Lithuania, this shop has been sweetening the streets of Paris for nearly 3 centuries. Stohrer opened its doors after accompanying the Polish king's daughter to France upon her marriage to Louis XV. Stohrer is the home of the legendary invention in France, the rum baba. It's a delicate sponge soaked in rum that's nothing short of divine. While the baba is the star, don't sleep on the palmier. It's my personal favorite. Its buttery, caramelized layers are pure perfection. Stohrer isn't just a patisserie. It's a piece of French history where every bite is a step back in time and every flavor tells a story.
So this thing is totally crazy. This is so light and flaky and butter, sugar and butter. It's a good combo. Butter and sugar. Amazing.
And last, but definitely not least, it's Pierre Hermé. Despite its enormous rise in popularity and growth, there are small stores almost everywhere now, even at the airports. I think Pierre Hermé macarons are some of the best. Monsieur Pierre Hermé is only in his early 60s. He was the youngest person to be named France's Pastry Chef of the Year, and in 2016 he was recognized as the world's best pastry chef. His first shops opened in Tokyo and Paris in 1998, and he's never looked back. They have excellent chocolates as well. So that does it for some of my favorite places, my highlights in Paris that I definitely hit while we were there at the Olympics. We were very fortunate in that most of the people who were there were focused on sports and attending the games, and we found no problem getting into our favorite restaurants and eating some of our favorite food. So if you are planning a trip to Paris sometime in the future and you want to eat well, maximize your time while you're there, please reach out. We offer custom adventures at Eat Drink Fun. I would be very happy to work with you and make sure that you have a wonderful time in the City of Light. So until next time, please remember to eat well, drink better, and always have fun. Santé.